In this demo, we'll be presenting a very sophisticated application in Joget known as the e-procurement application. And basically what the system allows us to do is a number of different things, from unifying supplier management to streamlining and centralizing the internal procurement activities, tracking progress of individual business activities, as well as the overall process, and analyze bid records over time. So when we were brought into the application, we can see we're here at the dashboard. We have a number of different things that we can see. For example, we can see the active vendors. And if we just click over here on this information tile, we're actually brought to an entire list where we can see all of the active vendors. And if I just click on this arrow over here, we can actually see an entire drop down of that vendor's history, from the bids that they participated to the status of their participation. Coming back to the main screen over here, we can see a couple of different other information tiles, for example, active bids, launch bids, as well as closed bids, and see some pie charts as well just below for the active bids by department, by status, as well as vendor performance. And then finally, we can see some different dashboards, which are entire data lists that are filtered out based on the active bids, as well as the closed bids in the system. So just coming back to the top, as a procurement user, we have a number of different options available to us. So we can also see the spend analysis of all of the bids. So for example, we can see the spend distribution by category, by status, the budget versus spending, and see a full breakdown. For example, the project budget over here, as well as the final price. Coming back to the top, when we talked about unifying supplier management, I was talking about the vendor management system over here. So we can actually register a new vendor and onboard them into the system. We can also submit a new bid over here. So for example, when we submit a new bid, there's a number of different details that we can provide, from the bid category, the specialization. We also have warranty. If you add warranty, we can provide additional details. And if we want to submit a bill of quantities, we can just check over here where we can actually submit all of those respective details. We also have the ability, for example, if you want to fill out the information in an Excel, we can actually choose a file. And once we complete that file, we can actually import it over here. And we can mask import all of the data directly here in the BOQ, but we still have that flexibility to actually come in and edit those line items as well. Next, we have the weightage, which allows us to define the weightage based on whether it's finance or technical. And we have validation added so that the weightage has to equal 100%, as well as the evaluation criteria of the finance perspective as well as the technical perspective. And we've built in validation so that we have the minimum qualifying score right below that determines what the minimum financial score of each vendor's application is, as well as the technical score as well, in order to be eligible to be shortlisted as a vendor for this bid. The next menu here is the inbox that allows us to manage the bids. For example, if there's any clarification required, if we need to verify a bid. And then finally, once the bid goes through the entire life cycle and the vendor's bid, we have the shortlisting, which allows us to shortlist and award this bid to a vendor. So we can see all of the respective details from the initialization of the bid. We can see the BOQ and the weightage that we have defined, as well as the vendors who were invited to participate. And we can also see the vendor details here as well. We can see their scoring, as well as if I click on this icon over here, we can actually see their entire submission. And from there, we have the ability to shortlist and complete out this bid. Another menu item we have available here is the project milestones that allows us to actually continue once a bid is awarded based on those milestones that are completed. So I'm just going to log out over here to log in as a vendor, just so I can showcase the different UI permissions that are in play for this application. So when I log in as a vendor, we can see that the menu items are very different for the vendor. So we can actually build out, and we have built out in this case, permissions based on each user role in the system, whether you're a procurement member, a vendor, a technical user, and so forth. So when we're logged in as a vendor, we can see the dashboards that are respected to this vendor, as well as we can see the inbox over here that has activities that are associated to this vendor. For example, bids that they have been invited to apply to, that they can confirm their participation, view the bid, or regret their intent to bid as well. And finally, we also have the milestones over here where we can actually submit those milestones if we are shortlisted for a bid. but this is just a quick demonstration of the e-procurement management system built in JoeGet.